Good morning, students. Ready for lesson number 102? And on the left side, you see the problems sets that we will be working out today. We do have a new lesson problem that are a little more complicated, so it's a good bit of memorization. And those will be 7, 8, and 9. All right, let's take off and start off on problem number 1. It says at noon the armadillo left the wild kingdom, headed north, and 2 hours later the raccoon, he left the kingdom and headed south. We have a distance problem. When we have a north and south, then we start two different directions, and here's what we do here. This is starting in somewhere in the middle and headed one direction. We'll call that north, and the other one's south. So we have two different distances all on the same line. We have a distance of the armadillo and the distance of the raccoon. And the two of these will equal something usually. Let's see what they equal. It says at what time will the animals be 38 kilometers apart? So this equals 38 when they are all the way apart, 38. All right, here we go then. Looks like a problem of RT plus RT will equal 38. And this is armadillo, and this is raccoon. Let's see what they give us. We need 3. I always remember we need 3. I see the armadillo, he was traveling at 3 kilometers per hour, and the raccoon was traveling at 5. And then we have the times left. Let's see if we can solve for the times. Time of A equals time of R, and must be a some difference. Let's see what happens here. The armadillo left at noon, which is 12 o'clock, and 2 hours later the raccoon left, so he left at 2. There's a difference of 2 hours here, and the raccoon needs 2 hours to have these equal the same amount, because he left 2 hours later. We have to add 2 to him to make him equal. Okay, now we have the TA equals TR plus 2. Right here is TA. We can substitute TR plus 2 here. And this is plus 5 TR equals 38. And we have 3 TR plus 6 plus 5 TR equaling 38. The TRs we put together, that looks like 8 TR equals 38. And if we have a positive 6, it's going to be a negative 6. That's going to be 32. And divide that by this 8, we have TR equaling 4. Up here, so if we have TR equals 4, what time did the raccoon leave? He left at 2 p.m. and it took him 4 hours, so plus 4 hours, that's going to be 6 p.m. when this finalized, 6 p.m. And if we would do the same with the other one, we would find out that that's also comes out to 6 p.m. So there's your answer. 6 p.m. is when they became 38 kilometers apart. Number 1, let's speed it up a little bit for time's sake. Number 2, when the debris was cleared away, there were 52 bricks left. So that's a total of 52. Some were red and the rest were white. So if I'm looking here right, so it should be red plus white equals 52. And now we have the formula for it says the red bricks numbered 16 more, so we are going to have to take 16 off to make this equal. Then twice the number of white, twice the white. Okay, to get us a formula to work with, we can take this negative 6 possibly and move it to the other side. That'd be positive 16. I'm just going to erase this and put my R over here close by. R equals this. Here's our R, so if we put where we substitute R is, 2W plus 16, see that? And then plus W equals 52. 2W and 1W. That's going to be 3W equals, take the next positive 16, put it on this side. 52 minus 16, should know that in my head, and I don't. 52 minus 16 equals 36. And divide that by 3, so the white equaled 12. Now if the white equaled 12, then the red would equal minus 12 would be 40. White is 12, red is 40. That was number 2. Keep going steady because 789 are going to take us a lot of time. Number 5, at 12% of the inhabitants, do you agree with me? That's going to be a 3 parentheses. And 12% had white hair, and 4,224 had colored hair. So if the 12% had white, I would say that the opposite of that 12% is what's going to be colored. Is that right? So the opposite of that is 88% had 4,224. Do our math. 4224 divided by 88% equals 4,800. Is that what they're asking for? How many were there in all? True. There you have the answer. Number 5. Now 7, 8, and 9. I'm going to approach this just a little differently. I want you to go back on to your practice. Number 102. Back here. Back to your practice. We want to fill this in for long term to be able to refer back to this. And follow me as I do this. We need to do this as quickly as possible because it does take a little time. Okay, here is your practice block. On this side, do this neatly, 4 different absolute values. Okay, those are your absolute values. Now we have 4 different possibilities on this type of problems. We have 2 like this. You can go ahead and put these signs down. I'm going to let you fill these in. 2 greater than and 2 less than. All right, and now the next thing is going to be, we're going to use all 2's. We're going to use a 2 positive and a negative 2, and a 2 positive again, and a negative 2. Okay, now we want 4 number lines. This takes some time. Do them as neatly as you can here. Don't rush necessarily. This is the way I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put my center lines with a 0 underneath of the centers. Then I want 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just do this like this all the way out through. 4. Exactly the other side the same way. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I will put the negative 2, negative 2, negative 2, negative 2, negative 4. Okay, we have to have all of that. Now there's 4 different possibilities here. This is simply, and we're going to do it as a memorization, so you can refer back to this. Again, we have 2 greater than and 2 less than. When you come to one like this, a number has nothing to do with it. We could have a 3 or 4 or whatever. We're just going to use 2's all the way down through it. In this case, there's 2's and there's no equal sign, so we are going to circle the negative 2 and a positive 2. Even though this is a positive 2, we're going to circle both of those. And your arrows with this particular setup are they going to go to the outside. It's a solid line going to the outside and a solid line arrow like this. Refer back to this. When you see one with a greater than and a positive, we go that distance. Okay. The next one is a negative. This is all that changes this, but it makes a lot of difference in how we set it up. This is a negative sign. In this case, we're going to go, again, arrows out, but the line goes all the way through. Doesn't matter what number this is, we're going to go all the way through. There's the 2 possibilities. Now we have 2 more, I'm sorry. Now again, we're going to circle the 2's. And in this case, the lines are going to go together. That's 1, 2, 3. And when we come to this one, this is not solvable. You don't do anything to the number line. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll have that now, and so I want you can study those, try to memorize. Memorize these things so that when we come to the problem sets. Now here we're going to 7, 8, 9. I'm going to erase this. Hopefully you have all this down. I'll give you just a moment. You can look back in your lesson and you'll see these 4 different possibilities. All right, here we go. I'm going to put 7, 8, and 9 up here. 7 is a 2. That's just like, remember how we solved for that one? And 8, if we put the -2 on the other side, that becomes a +2. Do you follow that on 8? Let's make sure you're there. 8. I'm thinking that -2, and I put it on the other side. That becomes a +2. Now, number 9, I'll have to take just a moment here to help you solve this one. This is the original. I'm going to erase this after I get through. This is the original, +5 and a 2. Okay, let's just do it step by step. First off, let's put the +5 on the other side. It becomes a -5, so now I have a -3. That understandable? But I still have this negative sign here. And if you remember in previous lesson, to get rid of the negative sign on the left side of the X, it does 2 things. When we move this over to get rid of it, it's going to change this sign. Do you remember that? Changes this sign, and it changes this sign. Now I've gotten rid of it. So number 9 is actually this right here. +3. Okay. Now we have these 3, so we have 3 number lines. 1, 2, and 3. It's going to take a little time. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I have a 2 and a 4, a 2 and a 4, 2 and a 4, -2, -4, -2 and -4, -2 and -4. We got our number lines. Okay, now if you refer back to this one, do you remember what the number with the arrow to the right in a +2? Look back on your chart on your practice set there, and you'll find that one. To the left, that one is going to be, circle the 2's. Always look for equal sign. This does not have equal sign, so we have open arrows, and that one will be to the outside, and solid lines to those. Again, you must have that, the practice where we have the 4 diagrams. All right, now the next one is a bit different. Find that one on your chart, and you will see that this is a -2, +2. This is because of the 2. Now here we have an equal sign, so we have to fill this in. And those are connected together. This one is the same as this one, besides that this has an equal sign, this one doesn't. So here we circle the 3's. And we connect those. We leave the circle open because there's not an equal sign. Can connect those. So these are very similar. Do you see the similarity between the 2? The only difference is this one has an equal sign, solid dots, and this one does not. That's 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. That's a bit new and a lot of memorization on it. 7, 8, 9. Okay, we will go to number 10. These are from yesterday's learning problems, so I'll do that. These are additions, so we have to get common denominators when we add things. Let's see here what we have. First one is x -4. The other one would be a x negative 4 and x positive 4. Once we factor those. What's our common denominator? This one could be included in here, so our common denominator is right here. Make sense? Common denominator. So we have this. I'll leave that to the side because it's there. 4. What did we add to this? We had x negative 4. What did we add? We added an x positive 4. 4 to this side and plus 5, and we added nothing to this. So there it is. And we have, through the distributive property, is 4x plus 16 plus 5. Add these two together. 4x plus 16 and 5 is 21. And here is our common denominator, x negative 4 and x positive 4. There's your final answer. Number 10. 11 is very similar. 11, to get a common denominator, that's going to be x positive 1 and x positive 1, correct? Over here is the x positive 1. Okay, this one can be included in here, so we can just do away with this one. And on the top here, we didn't add anything to it. And we've got a negative 3. This one, we had x positive 1, if you remember. We added another x positive 1 to it. There we go. Distributive property. I have 4 and negative 3x. Negative 3 times 1 is a negative 3. Can we put these together? Yes, we can. So I have a negative 3x, and the 4 and the negative 3 go together. That's going to be positive 1. Negative 3x positive 1. Here's our common denominator. You can write it two different ways. You can either do it like that, or we could have, because they are the same, we could have gone x positive 1 squared. Either way is right. That is number 11. One more problem. 27b looked like it might be something that would be a little complicated. 27b is this. Negative 2 over negative 2 squared. Okay, we'll start off with solving the bottom to start with. I think all of you agree with negative 2 squared is a positive 4. And then this needs to be brought down with this negative exponent. We need to bring it down. That's going to become a negative 2. And when we bring it down, it's going to be positive. So if we do this as 2 times 2 is 4, that's going to be a negative 4. And when you bring it down, the numerator divided by the denominator, this makes these two, you multiply them times each other. Brought this down. What you really did was brought this down, negative 2, and that becomes a multiplication problem. Positive 4 times negative 4 is a negative 16. Remember, they're all on the bottom, so we have to put that on the bottom with the 1 on the top. To redo this, that's a negative problem, so it's going to be a negative 1 over 16. That concludes the problems that I picked out for you this morning. You may have one that you have trouble with. Give me a call. That works about the best. I can walk you through it better that way than I can through texting. But however you do it, I'll respond to you, and hopefully we can continue on. Y'all are doing great. Keep it up. Keep your heads up. God bless you.